Yes, guys, totally enjoy the show. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, guys, you guys are fabulous out there, darling. Now, guys, remember when you're out there and you're trying to strive for more and you're trying to do lots of things, you have to remember this, okay? When you are striving for things and you are trying to do things, um, you have to realize that competition is heavy and all that, and people are very competitive, and that people are, doing very well sometimes, and it makes it harder. But that doesn't mean you have to buckle down. Doesn't mean you have to give up, right? You focus on what makes you the best, right? You focus on making what makes you the top person, right? And if you need to tweak it, you tweak it, but don't overdo it, right? You don't want to feel bad to the point where you're like struggling because of competition, right? Competition always exists. The beautiful thing about TikTok and YouTube is you can live your life and do amazing things in your own life and have fun and do all that. And then when you perform, you give it your all, but you don't overdo it, right? As long as you're giving it your all, but you're not like suffocating or struggling like crazy, right? But you're giving it your all, you're doing your best, and you're doing that, right? And the good thing about that is, like this video, for instance, right? I'm looking at, I did gain a little bit of weight, but I'm looking very snatched and very gorgeous, all right? And so I made sure I was gorgeous. I made sure the dress was perfect, the makeup is stunning. I made sure the hair is perfect and all that. So I did all that, right? And then when I do my videos, I am competing with the world, but I do feel confident in my skills because I'm going with my best and my talents and my looks and my gorgeousness and all that, right? And you can do the same thing. And remember, guys, if beauty is crazy, right? Like some people might think I'm tied with the most beautiful people in the world, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes people, like it's not even a matter of whether you're beautiful or not. Sometimes, like sometimes the competition is so heavy that you get lost in the shuffle. I mean, we look at all these things in social media, and maybe you even look better than the people that they're saying are the best looking, but it's just competitive because you might think you're not as good, right? There's just so many stars out there, and it's rare to be a star, but the population is huge in the world, so it's like rare to be a star, but there's a lot of stars, and so you compare yourself to people, and you just get all these crazy messages from media, and all of them that make you feel like doubting yourself. Like even watching a supermodel, right? One of her photos might be photoshopped, and maybe she feels skinny, or she looks skinny, but she's photoshopped, right? And then you might think, whoa, how am I going to get that way, right? And you might be beautiful, right? But you might feel down in the dumps because you don't feel good, right? Um, because you're comparing endlessly, right? So whenever you're comparing yourself, remember that a lot of these women and men in social media are photoshopped. I'm never photoshopped. I'm always my natural self. I'm never really photoshopped because I don't photoshop my photos, and I never do any of that, and I don't ever use filters. I don't use plastic surgery. I don't use anything. I don't use Botox or fillers even, or anything, because I want to be my best self as my natural self, right? And so when you see people like that, you realize, hey, there are people that are like that. But in general, like if you see a thin picture of Britney Spears or a thin picture of somebody, yes, they might be that thin, but if even them they get photoshopped in pictures, right? Like a Britney picture you're gonna see is probably photoshopped, even though she's super gorgeous and thin, but they probably Photoshop it. Maybe they don't, but I'm pretty sure they do. I've heard they do, right? So I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and she's thin and gorgeous, but when she's photoshopped, she's even more thin and more gorgeous, right? And they sparkle her up and all that, right? And there's filters and all that. So don't let that bog you down, right? Don't let that make you feel like you're a less than. Because trust me, guys, if you saw these people in actual real life, yes, some of them do look very, very good. Like I look amazing. I look very good, but I don't use any filters. But I look amazing. But if you're good looking, you should see people that you should look at. You should compare yourself realistically and be like, hey, I am good looking, right? Even if you're not the most conventionally attractive person, we should all feel good looking. All right, bye guys. Thank you. Bye, buongiorno.